Good day, everyone. It's the beginning of October and time to give you our quarterly update for the period ending 30th of September 2023. We always start with the disclosure slide, so take time to read through that. Maybe the key points to note is we are a regulated entity by the Financial Services Conduct Authority in South Africa, and whatever I say is not advice. So please take that in that way, but you can read the full disclosure. So let's just take a quick look at what's happened in the markets. The Nasdaq gave a return of 26.3% in dollars. The ZAR or Rand depreciated by almost 11% against the dollar, and the JSE gave a negative 1% return over the period. Lunar is invested both in the US as well as in the South African markets, and our performance for the 3 months is 22.6%. I prefer to look at some of the longer term performance figures. So over the 1 year period, we gave a return of 22.89%. Really very good performance considering that the JSE did nothing over that period. Over the 3 year period, we had a 27.4% performance, resulting in an 8.43% per annum on a compounded basis. 5 years, 57.7%, annual return of 9.54%, and over the 7 year period, 80% giving you an 8.77% return over the period. So definitely well above the inflation figures and giving our clients a real return. So the question obviously is, how did we achieve our returns? So firstly, our investment strategy basically follows a view that we look for those businesses that can have a competitive advantage and that can grow faster than their competitors. So we look for sectors that have demographic tailwinds, either from a behavioral point of view, people moving, or people acting or buying certain types of goods and services, or generational. And generational, as people get older and as new generations come into the workforce, how does that impact particular business and sectors? So we talk about that. We look for technology innovations across information technology, biotechnology, energy technology, and then obviously businesses that utilize technology. So those businesses that that can gain a competitive advantage, using technology or developing technology, either giving them huge scalability, or an ability to create a moat, or basically provide you with the ability to be defended against competitors, because it's hard for them to be able to recreate what you've done. Secondly, we think of ourselves as business owners. So we're definitely not traders. We're not in and out of the market. We think of ourselves as long-term owners of well-run businesses. So we look for which businesses are well-run, and do we want to be invested in this business for as long as we can? So that's what we look for. And obviously, at the end of the day, we need to identify whether those businesses are valued at the right level. So we don't want to, even a good business can be overvalued or overpriced rather, and we don't want to do that. So sometimes what we do is we hold a little bit more cash when we see that these businesses are overvalued or overpriced, and then we take advantage of it when prices return back to normal. So let's take a look at some of these businesses that actually have demographic tailwinds or technology innovations. Okay, so from a demographic point of view, we certainly see aging populations. They would require more healthcare, more financial services. So you would see that in our portfolio, we tend to look for those businesses, and we have them in our portfolio, and we'll talk a little bit about them in detail. Millennials are now actually the most significant part of the workforce, across the world, and certainly in some countries, especially in emerging countries like India, for example, millennials, are the largest part of the population as well, and they have different needs and different behaviors. And they look, to invest, for example, in digital businesses. Okay, they are big into athleisure. So, in other words, health and sustainability. So, so we look for, which businesses can benefit, given millennials' preferences. Technology we talked about, so information technology, AI. We've heard so much about AI recently. And we think it's a significant trend, and we picked it up, quite early on, and that has been quite beneficial in the performance of our portfolio. With geopolitical risk, we see cybersecurity as a big factor, and many companies are spending much more money on protecting their environments with data protection. There's laws also that govern these things, so they need to make sure that they are protecting confidential information about their clients. Cloud businesses continue to grow because there's this ongoing need, to move into the cloud type environment and not have companies running their own IT environments. Okay, data certainly is a big driver for the AI revolution. And that we saw that as a big requirement, for businesses to be able to manage their data and to be able to create insights from their data to make the right levels of management decisions. So we've seen big growth in that area, and we've been invested in that. And lastly, we also think of ourselves, we also think about these businesses sometimes as platforms. We look for those businesses that are platforms like Apple or Amazon, which provide a range of services, and people get used to their Apple environment because they can do their banking, they can do their shopping, they can read their news, etc. And it's hard for them to migrate out of that Apple environment, for example. And similarly in the US, people going into Amazon first thing in the morning to see what specials are there, or to just to buy the goods that they need, for a particular period, that they find themselves in. So, these are some of these businesses that we like to be invested in. Biotechnology, the diabetes and obesity play has been a significant driver of growth on some biotechnology companies, and we've been, reasonably early investors in those businesses, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And we are seeing an energy technology revolution. So yes, solar panels have been here around for a while, but they're getting cheaper. Battery technology is getting better and cheaper, and just the ability of utilities. I mean, you take South Africa for example. Utility just cannot provide the level of service or electricity that is required. So people are moving to these renewable type technologies. Okay, and then lastly, we talked about those businesses. So not necessarily technology businesses, but businesses that use technology to be able to get that that competitive advantage. So that's been our strategy. But we operate in an environment where there are a whole lot of things that can influence businesses. So for example, interest rates have been increasing globally, and that has an impact on the valuation of business. The cost of doing business is much higher. The other side of it is that consumers have less money to spend because they have to service their mortgages, for example. So those things have an impact on on valuation. Energy costs have been going up. Just recently in South Africa in the last 2 months, I think our petrol price has gone up from anything from 3 rands to 4 rands a litre just over a 2-month period. And that 3 or 4 rands has a significant impact on the cost of transportation, but also the amount of money people have left to spend for other things. Elections in South Africa and the US is going to be a very interesting area. South African financial situation, government finances are in dire straits, so we're watching that and see what needs to, what is government going to do to that, or do we just, hedge ourselves and have more money invested offshore? And certainly at the global level, we're seeing India becoming, much more aggressive in terms of trying to become an economic power, and China struggling at the moment, yet, they are a huge economy, and, if they turn some of these things around, can have a major positive impact in the South African environment. So we look at some of our businesses, that we are invested in. So firstly, offshore, we've got 66% of our portfolio is invested offshore. And that has steadily been growing, over time as a result of us taking more money out from the portfolios, but also just that the growth has been much better offshore than it has been locally. So we invested in the technology space with companies like NVIDIA, a chip manufacturer, Microsoft, everyone knows about that. Amazon, we've talked about. ASML, a manufacturer of the equipment to make chips, the lithography equipment to make chips, a Dutch-based company but listed in the US as well. Incredible businesses. Snowflake, a data business, Palo Alto and CrowdStrike are cybersecurity businesses. So, and these have shown, all of them have shown significant growth over the last period. On the healthcare side, we've got Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly in the diabetes and obesity play, but they're also starting, and particularly Eli Lilly, starting to move into the cancer space. So, cancer treatment. So we're looking at how those businesses can, be of benefit, to our investors. Berkshire, JP Morgan, UBS, First Rand, financial services companies, companies that we like because, as we said, as people get older, there's more money because of their retirement funds. These people are putting their money with organizations like this, or they just need those services. But also these companies utilize technology in a very good way, so that they create a competitive advantage. First Rand's a very good example of that. JP Morgan, another very good example of that. Okay, Walmart also, starting to try and catch up with Amazon, from a technology delivery point of view. ShopRite has been phenomenal, 60/60. The other innovations, in the use of technology has been fantastic. Lululemon and Athleisure company, doing yoga pants, actually not only yoga, different sports type products. So really high quality, premium brand, and many people are buying their products. On the energy side, we've got Glencore, an energy ETF, and Enphase. Enphase is basically a microinverter and battery technology and solar technology company. So really exciting businesses. And you can see the weightings: technology 21%, healthcare 12%, financials 26.5%, consumer 11.7%, and in cash we've got 27%. So basically showing that we are a little bit conservative in this market, given what I've just given you as a background. On the offshore side, very similar to what we've had in the past, very similar to what we've got in the Lunar BCI Worldwide Flexible Fund, except that everything is offshore. There's no local investments, because that's basically that product is geared just for offshore side. One of the advantages there is we have some businesses there that are not listed in the US, and we are able to invest in that. So Inditex, which is Zara, BMW listed in the German stock exchange, LVMH, a luxury brands, Louis Vuitton, everyone knows that, right? So that's, those are the companies that we are invested in. So I just want to remind you, so what is our strategy? So we're very passionate about investing. We think that every single person should, invest as much as they can from as early on as possible. And we try to encourage that through our blogs, the weekly stock take, where we talk about specific stocks, or what's happening in the market, community radio. This kind of broadcast the quarterly that we do. We have workshops with families about their balance sheets. We do we do a youth league where we encourage youngsters to learn about investing. We have the two products that we've talked about, which is the BCI Worldwide Flexible Fund, which you can come in at 1,000 rands a month, or a lump sum of a minimum of 10,000 rand, or alternatively you can make a combination of that, 10,000 rand and 1,000 rands a month, or higher than that if you needed to. The offshore, it's directly in the individual, or if it's a married couple, we can have it jointly in their names, and that's a minimum of 500,000, and all of that gets invested, as I said, offshore. And why do we do this? We love to do this because we have joy, we have inner happiness when we make a positive impact in other people's lives, whether it's through increasing their knowledge about investing or impacting them directly, from a financial point of view. And that's what we really want to do. We love to do that. So with that, I basically close off. If you need any more information, here's our contact details. Please feel free to call us, or email us, or WhatsApp us. And we're happy to present to you in more detail, or to assist you with your application on any of these products. Thank you.